Welcome to the writer reads Mack and Me, an Odyssey. This is Book 3, Mack and Me, Arach, Chapter 2, Dealing with the Devil. We got to the meeting room without any trouble, Mack keeping me tucked against him the whole way. Like I said, he either knew I wanted that arm around me or he was just making damn sure I didn't bolt. Or both. It could have been both. Either way, we made it to the meeting room, our tiny escort of two not enough to have held us if we'd tried to run. But Mack had a ship to think of, and a crew he really wanted to have make it through each and every mission, and I didn't want to lose what I had, whatever that was. The gloves came off when we were both sitting opposite the Arach leader. There was no preamble. The damn thing just shifted, got out of his seat while his skin was changing, and went from man to arachnoid in 20 seconds flat, which might have been impressive if I hadn't been trying to get as far away from him as I could, without leaving my chair, completely forgetting the spiders in human form behind me, who changed as I untangled myself from the chair and ran backwards into them. Ever been trapped in an Arach's grasp? Had four arms wrap around you and a set of pedipalps settle over your shoulders? Never? Tell you what, I missed having Mack's arm around me right then. Really missed it, as I curled up on myself, not caring that my feet couldn't touch the ground. And Mack? He just sat there, watching the show, his gaze flicking between the Arach leader and the Arach guards and me. When I stopped screaming and just stayed as still as I could, he spoke. Can I have her back? The Arach leader surveyed him from a multitude of eyes. Do you need her? Always. Always? That was news to me. Truly? That damned Arach was laughing at us, I was sure of it. She seems more trouble than she's worth. She's mine. I can't read Arach expression, not when they're in that shape. But if I didn't know any better, I'd have said the spider didn't believe Mack. Not one little bit. Are you sure? And Mack pushed out of his chair, unfolding to his full height. Give her back, he said, and pivoted toward me. Spiders move fast, and there were 7 guards to his one all on its lonesome self. Spiders are also stronger than the average bear, or not so average bear in Mack's case. Still, it took 3 of them to pin him as their leader came around the table toward me. You owe me blood, he said, and I stared at him. It was dumb, the stupidest move ever, but I figured I had nothing to lose. After all, I already owed him, so what was a little more between us? I stayed curled, and I let him think I was too terrified to move. I kept still when all I wanted to do was run. I was already tense, my feet already tucked. When he got within range, I let him have it, kicking out with both legs, slamming my feet into his chest with all the force I could muster. Something went crack, and he froze and glanced down at his chest. Ichor leaked a line of brown where the break had occurred. It stained his suit. Arach face or not, I could tell I'd caught him by surprise. And then he laughed. Now you owe me more. I'd already known that would be the case, so why did hearing it send chills right through me? I watched as he turned his head to one of the guards not holding either Mack or me in one spot, and then he spoke to it in Arach, his mouth parts moving in a way I never wanted to see. When they both turned toward me, Mack started shouting and kicking up 3 kinds of hell, and not doing an ounce of good. And me? Well, of course I tried to run, and I got nowhere, but I didn't stop trying. I didn't, right up until I saw the leader nod and felt the Arach behind me sink his fangs into that point where your neck connects to your shoulder. Well, that made me yelp and kick until the second Arach grabbed my legs, and then the poison took effect and I couldn't move at all. As if in reflection, Mack stopped struggling. No, he said, his voice soft with disbelief. No, that was not part of the deal. There will be no deal. And he was struggling again. I might have laughed when he got bit as well, except it wasn't funny, and the Arach leader was closing. I got passed like a sack of veggies into his arms, and then he opened up a vein in my throat and took what he said I owed, and there wasn't a damn thing Mac or I could do to stop him. About halfway through, the poison wore off, and I tried to push him away. The best I could do was lay a hand on his chest. Not long after, I heard Mac speak. Please, he said, and I tried to turn my head. That man had never begged in his life. Please, he said again. I'll need her for the job. At this, the Arach raised his head. I'd like to say I lifted mine too, but I didn't. I just lay there in the spider's arms, limp as a wet fish. So there will be a deal, and the Arach shifted to almost human form, vocal cords letting him speak aloud, but still keeping two sets of arms around me. Now, though, I rested against a kaff and ichor stained suit instead of a carapace that looked like steel. Oh, good. Mac sounded tired when he answered. There will be a deal. Defeated, even, but I was tired, too tired to run or to struggle as the Arach bent his head to my throat once more. Please. And this time I heard grief. What? The man was going to miss trading blows on the mats, kicking me out of his control room when I had no business being there? Give it a break. Please, I need her. Well, hell. And the Arach raised his head. Let him up, he said, and carried me over to where Mac was getting shakily to his feet. I'll give you 10 minutes to hand her over to the medics and be back here for your orders, he said, and dumped me in Mac's arms. The Arach looked down at me and then back at Mac. I suggest you hurry. I wanted to agree, but I was getting real sleepy. So sleepy I was having trouble keeping my eyes open. Mac hurried. I drifted in and out, watching Mac's lips move, but only catching patches of conversation. Words like transfusion, cutting it fine, and other less complimentary phrases typical to Doc about a captain that lets his crew members get it. But what did I care? Mac needed me as something more than a Spider-Man snack, and he needed me enough to beg. And damn me if I didn't find that kind of cool.